movement electricity. It's clear you already know because you experienced 10 minutes ago.
係啦，咁10分鐘之前咧，我哋有感覺到啦，就係咧通過一啲嘅運動啦、動作嘅話咧，俾自己即刻咧係可以叉電嘅。
And actually, the last one, how the body is built, sustained, and powered, is the mind.
咁咧最後一個咧就係通過我哋嘅神識啦，或者係叫心智咧，係可以咧係達到咧我自己身體咧係提供能量嘅。
And you already know that the mind creates the body, and the body is just a picture in the mind.
因為咧身體咧就係心智嘅一幅圖畫，咁咧係個心智係創造身體嘅。
So of course it creates the body, sustains and powers it.
咁所以咧，通過咧個嘅神識嘅心智咧，係可以咧係去補充能量俾個身體。
But you need to have the will to live.
咁但係你一定要有一個意願咧，你係想咧係生存嘅。
If you don't have the will to live, then your body will slowly degenerate and die.
如果你咧係唔想活嘅話咧，咁你個身體咧係會自己啊慢慢退化啦，直至達至死亡。
And about visualization, I will talk about it later.
咁呢個觀上咧，亦都我會晏啲先會講呢一個方法。
You remember I mentioned visualization is using pictures and emotion to program your instinct.
記得啦嚇，呢一個技巧咧，觀上啊，就係咧我哋會通過一啲嘅形象啦，加上一啲嘅情感嘅能量咧，令到佢咧心想事成。
Because the body is the picture in the instinct.
因為咧，我哋本身嘅身體係一個嘅景象啦，喺我哋嘅心智裏頭。
So this is the same thing as the previous page, but written in different way.
呢一樣嘢咧講解咧，同前一頁咧係一樣嘅，但係咧用唔同嘅文字去表達。
How the body can function properly.
咁身體咧點樣可以運作咧？正常運作咧？
You need to have the proper diet for yourself.
咁你咧就需要一啲嘅比較好嘅食嘢嘅飲食嘅習慣啦。
And you use this method of conscious eating to select the proper diet for yourself.
咁咧就飲食習慣咧就講我要食啲乜嘢幾時食嘅話咧，咁我哋用一個方法咧叫做咧覺知飲食法。
We will talk about conscious eating later, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
覺知飲食我可能聽日或者甚至乎後日啦，先至會咧講解深入一啲。
Because you see, there is no perfect diet which is good for everyone.
你睇下坊間上面咧冇一個咧好標準化嘅正常飲食法咧，係每一個人都適合嘅。
Because everyone is a different universe, so everyone needs to eat something else.
因為每一個人都有個小宇宙都唔一樣嘅，咁點樣有標準化咧？唔可能啦。
There are thousands of substances that our body needs.
係好多啦唔同嘅元素咧，我哋身體咧係需要嘅。
And it needs those substances in a specific time and amount.
甚至乎咧，我哋身體裏邊咧需要一啲嘅唔同嘅元素咧，但係咧都係咧喺唔同嘅時間、唔同嘅唔同嘅量咧去需要嘅。
So if I ask you, what does your body need now and how much?
咁譬如我而家問緊你啦，而家呢一刻你身體需要啲乜嘢，同埋需要幾多，你知唔知啊？
You probably don't know.
你唔知道。
So when you use conscious eating, the body
咁如果你
will always tell you what it needs and how much and when.
你自己去鍛鍊呢個覺知飲食法嘅話咧，你會識得去聆聽你自己嘅身體，佢話翻俾你聽，你而家需要食啲乜嘢，食幾多，同埋幾時食。
If you don't use conscious eating and you follow a diet, for sure you will harm your body.
如果你唔用呢個覺知飲食法咧，你係盲目咁樣咧，係去跟隨一啲咧係出邊啊坊間俾你一啲嘅叫做標準化嘅飲食辦法嘅話咧，你會咧傷害到你自己身體。如果長期咁樣去使用一個方法
Whatever diet you follow, you harm your body.
你越跟得佢越十足嘅話咧，其實對你身體越有害。
Doesn't matter what it is.
係啦，我唔理啊，即係你嗰個嘅叫做咩飲食計劃咧，係邊個俾你嘅？
But if you follow the real body needs, then you do the best thing for your body. You give it what it needs, when and how much.
咁如果你咧真係唔係咁樣盲目咁樣去跟入某一個特定嘅計劃啦，俾自己係當下同身體去連接，去聆聽佢覺知佢咧，佢需要啲咩嘢嘅話咧，咁樣對你身體係最有益處嘅。
And the body can function properly due to the energy drawn from the environment.
仲有咧就係咧對身體咧係好有益處嘅，令到佢咧可以運作正常啦，就係咧係去吸取一啲嘅氣能啦，就係喺我哋嘅環境裏頭啦係吸取氣能。
When you do so-called energizing exercises, you draw energy from the environment into your body.
當你咧係去鍛鍊咧一個叫補充能量嘅運動嗰陣時候咧，你可以從你嘅環境裏邊咧去吸取咧身邊咧一啲嘅生命能啦，或者叫做氣能。
And I believe you know what is Tai Chi and Qigong.
有聽過太極或者係氣功。
And about sun gazing, we will talk later.
凝視太陽咧，我啲會咧係詳細講解。
And you already know that by breathing, you are building your body.
亦都係知道啦，就係咧通過呼吸咧，我哋咧係會建立咧身體咧，維持身體。
And another way, how the body functions properly, it's due to the energy created by the mind.
同埋另外一個就係身體點樣可以正常運作咧？就係咧係通過咧個心智咧係創造身體，創造
Through different mind exercises.
咁就係咧心智上面有啲嘅鍛鍊啦，從心咧係出發。
We already did one of these mind exercises.
咁我哋今日咧就做咗一個咧係用心咧係鍛鍊嘅一個練習。
Which one? Do you remember?
記唔記得咩練習啊？
內心喜悅。
內在喜悅 （inner joy）。
Yes, allowing the inner joy to emanate.
咁呢個咧就係咧個心法嚟嘅，係容許咧呢個內在嘅喜悅咧係散發出嚟。
And we will do visualization also later.
咁晏啲咧都會咧係做嗰個嘅觀想嘅方法咧，聽日或者後日。
And of course, the body can function properly due to the will of the body owner.
咁就係個身體咧係可以咧好良好咁樣運作咧，就係如果你自己有嗰個嘅 will 你。
Will, yes.
係啦，咁你係有嗰個意志力啦，或者係嗰個意願咧，係去咧去改造佢。
And using your will, you make modifications in your instinct, in your programming.
咁咧，你有咁嘅意願嘅話，你可以咧改變咧身體裏邊咧本能嘅一啲嘅程式咧，係去咧重新咧開始。
And the programming techniques, visualization, we will talk about it later.
咁呢個點樣去編寫改寫個嘅程式咧？我哋咧都係遲啲咧先至會咧教你哋點樣去做觀想啦。
And so this is one of the energizing exercises.
好啦，咁呢個咧係其中一個嘅工具，點樣去補充身體嘅能量。
We can go to the garden and do it.
咁而家咧可以咧行出去草地嗰度咧，係大家一齊去學呢一個練習。
But before we go, I explain.
咁我哋咧出去嗰陣時，我先講解完之後，你出到去就可以自己練習啦。
This is one of the methods how you can feed your body.
咁咧就點樣可以咧係為自己即係俾自己營養或者係能量啊補充能量。
When you practice it, your body will be full of energy, let's say full of qi.
咁如果咧你係去做呢一個嘅運動或者係叫鍛鍊嘅話咧，你會俾自己吸咗好多嘅氣啦，咁身體咧就會咧充滿咧氣能啦。
So naturally, it will need less food.
咁咧就呢個所謂嘅氣功嘅鍛鍊嘅話咧，你就會慢慢咧，你身體咁有能量嗰陣時咧，就唔需要咧食嘢，你唔覺得有飢餓感。
And also, it will be more healthy.
當然咧，亦都會更加啲健康。
In general, you will feel better, and there will be no such thing as depression in your body.
咁你咧就如果咁健康嘅話咧，你氣咁充沛嘅話咧，你就唔會覺得好憂鬱啊，或者咧係好攰啊。
So basically, what you do, you draw energy from the sun.
呢個氣功咁樣做咧，就係你咧係去咧吸取咧太陽嘅氣能。
Or you draw energy from the center of Earth.
同埋咧，亦都係咧去吸取咧喺個大地嘅核心嘅一個嘅地氣。
You see, in the center of Earth, we have what we call inner sun.
地球嘅核心點咧，我哋有一個叫做內在嘅太陽。
Planets are like people.
我哋嘅大地啊，就好似人一樣啦。
They have inner joy.
大地咧之母啊，大地裏頭咧係有一個叫做內在嘅喜悅。
In case of people, we say inner joy. In case of planets, we say inner sun.
咁我哋咧人咧，我哋叫做內在嘅喜悅。咁如果咧係喺地球裏邊嚟講，我哋嘅叫做咧內在嘅太陽。
Because there is a device in every planet in the center, which is kind of a sun or crystal which powers the planet.
每一個嘅星球啊 裏邊啊，個核心裏邊咧都有一個嘅內在嘅太陽。呢個內在嘅太陽咧，就係俾佢整個嘅星球嘅能源。
The stars, the suns also have the same thing inside.
包括咧個太陽，包括咧星星都係咧裏邊嘅核心咧有一個內在嘅太陽。
So you connect to the center of Earth and draw energy from the inner sun, and it comes into your body through your feet.
咁你咧就去同大地啦，下邊核心嗰個太陽咧，同佢咧係聯繫埋一齊，同佢接觸咗之後咧，連貫埋一齊咧，就將咧佢哋嘅氣流咧，就從個地咧就去吸入自己身體。
And you collect it here.
吸取自己身體咧，跟住咧係將呢個氣能咧就係存放喺呢個位置左右。
You can collect it in any other place, but at the beginning I suggest to collect it here.
當然啦，你將佢咧吸咗落嚟之後，你可以儲埋咧喺你身體咧任何一個位置。咁但係咧開頭咧去練習嗰陣時候咧，你可以先係咧將佢存放喺呢一個位置左右。
And practically how you do that?
咁咧你係點樣做咧
We can divide this exercise into 3 parts.
咁可以咧就將嗰個嘅練習咧，我分開3部分去慢慢鍛鍊先，學3部分。
The first part is like this.
嗱，第一部分咧分開3個小部分。
You need to inhale.
你咧係需要吸氣。
And then stop.
記得啦，我哋咧係吸氣飽滿之後咧，
Hold your breath.
閉氣。
And in this moment, when you start to hold your breath, you start to imagine the flow of energy.
你吸飽咗之後，你閉氣開始，先至用意念咧係帶動嘅氣流。
Remember,
記得。
You start to imagine the flow of energy from the center of Earth in the moment when you stop inhaling.
記得你吸氣嗰陣時候咧，你係去到閉氣嗰陣時先開始帶動嘅氣流咧，從嗰個大地落下邊嘅太陽咧，係咧進入你自己嘅體內。
We use imagination in this exercise.
喺呢一個嘅練習當中咧，我哋用一個嘅所謂嘅意念咧去帶動佢。
Without using imagination, this exercise does not work.
如果你冇咧用嗰個意念去帶動嘅話咧，個氣流係唔會喐，亦都唔得嘅。
Why do we use imagination?
點解我哋要用嗰個想像，要用個意念去帶動咧？
Because energy follows your imagination.
因為咧氣係跟住你嘅想像。
You can move qi when you use your imagination.
你都係咧可以咧將嗰個氣咧係移動啦，係根據你嘅意念啦。
So it is very important.
好重要咧，你係用一個嘅意識咧係去帶動。
To imagine the stream coming from the center of Earth.
可能你要開始去想像一下，去聯繫一下咧，就係咧喺大地核心裏邊咧有一個內在嘅太陽。
Through the middle of your feet.
咁咧就係通過咧你哋嘅腳板咧下邊咧中心呢個位置。
And inside your legs.
填什麼？
膻中，不是那個。
咁樣就穿過呢個嘅穴位咧，就進入你自己嘅身體。
Middle of your feet.
係啦，喺個腳板咧下邊咧中心嗰個穴位啊。
And inside your legs.
咁咧就從嗰個腳板底咧，又進入你嘅身體啦，去到你嘅腳啦。
Flows inside your body here.
感受到啦個氣流咧係咁樣上嘅，一路上到嚟呢一處。
Not on the surface.
唔係喺表面啊，我喺裏頭一個氣流啦係咁樣喐嘅。
Must be inside.
裏邊。
Yes. So what you do is like this.
咁你點樣做咧？你係咁。
Inhale.
吸氣。
Then stop the breath.
閉氣。
In this moment, start the imagination.
閉住道氣去做閉住道氣去做咧，嗰個想像咧，個氣流咧，從腳底咧進入自己身體啦，去到呢度嘅位置。
And wait for, I don't know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I don't know how long you can hold it.
咁你睇下你自己可以忍住道氣幾耐啦可能係。係啦，咁樣就睇下你自己可以忍到道氣幾耐啦。咁忍到就5秒鐘慢慢咧練到10秒鐘15秒鐘咁樣。
If you cannot hold your breath anymore, stop imagination and breathe normally.
咁如果譬如話你忍住道氣忍唔住嘅話咧，咁你就俾自己咧係正常呼吸咧，就放低啦嗰個想像，就唔需要一路想一路諗住佢一路咧就去啦呼吸。
So let's go to the garden and we do this.
明白咯，
I repeat again.
使唔使諗佢咩食嘅咧？
you mean the tea coming up? Can I you need to imagine the colour of that tea?
No.
唔需要佢一個感覺嚟嘅。
You focus on the stream of energy which comes from the center of Earth without thinking how it looks like.
係一個能量嘅流動嚟嘅，咁你去感受咧呢個能量嘅流動係冇顏色嘅，就係佢個方向係好緊要。
When it enters your body, you feel that it flows.
咁咧佢進入你嘅身體嗰陣時，感覺到佢真係流動嘅，係喐動咧，係去到咧呢一度咧，你將佢咧係聚集咧喺呢一個地方。
So let's go and do that.
OK，咁我哋去試下，俾自己係感受一下。
So I stand like this.
咁你自己放鬆開身體之後咧，就咁樣企。
I feel with my feet the soil.
首先咧，俾自己咧係扎根後，啲腳板底咧係企穩咧，感受到咧個大地先。
And then I inhale.
跟住咧，俾自己吸氣。
And in the moment when I stop inhaling, I start the imagination.
吸氣啦，吸飽，唔使話吸好多，吸飽就得㗎啦。咁咧就閉氣，開始個想像力個意念帶動。
Maybe for me it is like 20 seconds.
對於我嚟講，因為我練習好耐，我20秒都冇問題嘅，我就閉氣20秒。
For you it may be longer or shorter, depends on you.
咁如果你得咧，就長啲就更加好啦。咁如果唔得咧，就唔緊要㗎，就放開就得㗎啦。
When I am holding the breath, I imagine the flow of energy.
閉氣嗰一刻開始咧，就感受到咧嗰個嘅地氣從咧腳板底咧係進入自己嘅體內。
From the center of earth, through my feet, middle of feet, inside the leg, inside the body, and I accumulate it here.
係啦，從大地咧核心嗰落在太陽咧，個氣流咧就係開始咧係從你腳板底咧進入你嘅身體咧係流動往上，去到呢一度咧係存放喺呢度。
And don't force yourself to hold your breath too long.
咁你咧就唔需要逼自己啦，話如果忍唔住唔到氣咧，就放開啦，重新再嚟過。
And when you feel comfortable, you cannot hold your breath anymore, then stop the imagination and breathe normally.
咁如果你咧係忍住道氣忍唔到啦，咁咧俾自己咧係放開嗰個想像力啦，同時俾自己咧係來回吸幾下咧，咁先再開始做。
And when you are ready again, repeat the exercise, which means inhale, hold, start imagination for some time, and when you are tired, stop imagination and breathe through.
即係每次都一樣啦，俾自己忍住道氣，睇忍得有幾耐。咁如果係忍唔到啦，咁樣就停啦，之後就重新再嚟過咁樣。
And I suggest don't close your eyes too much because many people when they do that they fall.
係啦，咁你眼睛咧唔需要全部合埋嘅。咁樣咧，如果你咁樣做嘅話咧，你可能會暈低啦。咁你自己半開合又得啦，打開眼都得嘅，睇下自己邊樣嘢方便啲啫。
So let's continue. I mean, let's first repeat what we learned
咁我咧
yesterday.
就中意咧就係一開頭咧就好快咧就係重溫翻琴日我哋咧係講過啲乜嘢先。
We started from beginning of the beginning.
同埋咧我哋咧係喺最前端開始啊。
From the consciousness.
咁咧就係從咧嗰個源頭全意識開始去講解。
But before that, I told you about information, knowledge, and belief.
咁但係全意識之前咧，都係俾你啲基本嘅字眼啦，咩叫做咧區分啦、資訊啦同埋咧知識。
As you know, information is any data which comes to our senses.
咁咧就資訊啦，就係咧來自於外在嘅所有嘅數據咧叫資訊。
Mostly what we read and listen to.
係啦，聽嘅、睇到嘅、讀嘅書咧都係外來嘅資訊。
And information is not knowledge.
咁唔等同於咧我哋嘅知識。
Knowledge is something that you build on your own experience.
知識咧係自己基於自己嘅經驗咧係建立俾自己嘅知識。
Or you access it from intuition.
或者咧你係直接咧係唔需要經驗，直接咧係踏入去嗰個直覺咧感知裏邊咧攞到下載出嚟嘅。
And belief is just lack of knowledge.
咁但係咧就咩叫信念啊？信念其實咧就係咧唔知道，咁即係咧缺乏咧知識。
So instead of saying I don't know, but I suppose it works like that, you can say I believe.
好多時候咧口頭禪咧，我哋咧唔肯認咧，我自己唔識嘢啊！嗬，咁成日都話咧我相信咁樣，其實你等於唔知道啦。
And regardless of its source, information can be true or false.
咁樣無論咧你個來自嘅來源咧資訊喺邊度嚟都好啦，咁咧佢都可以係真啦，或者係唔真嘅。
So be open to information, but don't believe it blindly.
仲要啦，俾自己咧好開放去接收咧外來任何嘅資訊，但係唔好去盲目咁樣去信任佢。
And the most important thing is to understand the difference between immediate and fasting.
係啦，仲要咧就係俾自己區分呢一樣嘢，逼谷同埋斷食咧係兩回事。
Immediate is a state of the mind which reflects through the body, so that the body does not need to consume anything.
咁所以咧，逼谷咧係一個咧自然嘅狀態，我哋係唔需要咧依賴咧任何咧外來嘅食物嘅，咁所以唔好成日話人哋有冇逼谷喎，唔係㗎，呢個係唔一樣。
It still needs to breathe.
但係我哋逼谷者咧都係咧要呼吸嘅。
We all are breatharians.
在座每一位都係咧呼吸者。
And there is another state of the mind which reflects through the body. It's non-eating.
另外咧一個咧亦都係咧不食者，亦都係咧一個嘅狀態嚟嘅，我係唔需要食嘢。
When you are a non-eater, you don't need to eat, but you need to drink water.
不食者咧就係話咧我唔食啫，咁但係仍然咧我係需要水分嘅，我飲水。
And understand that qi is something which cannot be sensed or it cannot be visible, and you cannot eat it or breathe it.
咁樣就明白啦，就係我哋講緊嘅係氣咧，唔係空氣氣，我哋講叫做氣能嘅氣咧。呢樣嘢係無形嘅，我哋咧睇唔到，亦都摸唔到，感覺唔到。我哋淨係咧可以感覺到佢嘅流動嘅感覺。
Because qi is not material, it will create matter. It is before the matter is created.
佢本身咧唔係咧物質，咁但係佢可以咧係去咧製造物質，咁係咧物質之前嘅最原始嘅元素，我哋叫做咧氣能，一個能量嚟嘅。
Using your imagination, you can accumulate qi, or you can move it into any direction, or you can use it and densify it and create material things.
通過你自己嘅意念啦，你嘅想像力嘅話，你可以咧將啲咧氣能咧呢個能量咧係聚集埋一齊啦，甚至乎咧係將佢咧移動咧係咧唔同嘅方向。
And the exercises.
琴日啦記得啦，呢個可以其實每日朝頭早都做。
Now you don't need it, you are still.
咁咧就任何時間攰咧都可以起身咧去叉電啦。
So you remember, all starts from the consciousness.
所有一切咧都係咧源自於呢個嘅全意識。
The consciousness is something which cannot be defined.
全意識咧係冇辦法咧用言語咧去形容。
It has no limits.
亦都係咧無限嘅。
Whenever we start to imagine the consciousness, we are already wrong.
係咪？你一陣去咗想像去諗下咧，佢係乜嘢嚟咧？咁就已經係走錯方向。
However, everything which exists and all the things which do not exist, they originate from the consciousness.
咁但係咧，就所有嘅存在嘅一切，包括唔存在嘅一切咧，都喺個全意識裏頭。
The piece of the consciousness, which is just an imagined piece, we call it I am.
咁咧，我哋有一個嘅碎片啦，喺呢個全意識裏邊咧，分割一個嘅小碎片啦，我哋叫做咧係本我，亦都係咧全意識嘅一部分。
And this I am creates a tool which we call mind.
通過咧本我咧，佢創造咧一個嘅工具，我哋叫做神識，或者叫做咧係心智。
So all the illusion, all the game, all of the fun starts in the mind.
所有嘅一切嘅好玩嘅遊戲啊，所有萬物一切咧，都係咧喺個神識向嗰度咧開始咧去創造嘅。
We call it life.
我哋講緊咧呢個咧就係佢創造嘅，我哋叫做生命呢場遊戲。
It is the mind that creates all of the matter.
係通過個神識咧，佢創造所有嘅物質世界。
And of course, body is part of this matter.
當然啦，我哋嘅身體亦都係啦呢個物質世界嘅其中嘅一部分。
So all these things here and all the universe, they are only a picture in your mind.
所有我哋睇到嘅眼見睇到嘅一切啦，包括咧宇宙所有嘅萬事萬物咧，都係咧假象嚟嘅啫。
When you, being I am, switch off your mind, all of this will disappear.
當你嗰個本我咧能夠咧將嗰個叫神識咧關咗佢嗰陣時候啦，眼前一切咧都會消失。
So you can see information about the consciousness is a very ancient information.
呢一個嘅全意識咧，而家係古代嘅智慧嚟嘅，唔係而家先至有嘅。
Before any official civilization was set up on our planet, the information about consciousness was already known.
喺現今咧文化嘅文明嘅社會裏頭咧，未出現之前咧，其實呢啲都有啦所謂嘅記載啦，係一個古代嘅智慧。
So in the ancient schools, they were already teaching that the consciousness cannot be understood, cannot be imagined.
遠古時代咧已經咧去教呢一樣嘢，就係咧道咧係唔能夠咧係被咧被改，即係被呢個即係咩啊？寧可道啊，呢個全部都係道家成講嘅嘢。
When you start to imagine it or talk about this, you are already wrong.
而講緊咧，就如果你明佢嘅話咧，你要俾個名佢嘅話咧，咁已經係走錯方向啦。
So the consciousness is something which creates everything.
全意識咧係所有創造一切嘅源頭，我叫本源或者叫本體。
It's the origin of the physical matter and spiritual matter.
所有嘅物質上邊咧有嘅嘢，或者係靈性上邊靈界嘅世界咧，所有一切咧都係來自於咧呢一個道。
So by itself, the consciousness does not have any of these things.
咁即係話本身咧，你講緊全意識咧，道咧係唔擁有任何咧以下嘅所有一切。
But it can create all of this and much more.
佢本身咧係冇呢啲嘢，咁但係咧佢可以創造所有呢啲一切咧，同埋咧係超越所有一切。
So at the beginning, the consciousness creates chi, and chi creates everything.
喺當初嘅話咧，道咧或者係意識咧係創造咧氣，咁呢個能量，從呢個能量開始咧係演進咧係創造所有嘅生命。
The consciousness we can define a point zero in the consciousness, which is somewhere in the middle between the minus infinity and plus infinity.
我哋用一個圖畫啦，去展示佢就係用一個零點開始啦，係兩頭啦，係去走嘅話咧，兩頭嘅演進，一頭咧就係咧正無限，另外一頭咧就係負無限。
So we can imagine that from the point zero, the consciousness can expand in any direction.
咁我哋可以想象一下啦，喺零點嗰陣時候咧，佢係可以咧係選擇咧係喺兩邊咧去叫演進。
And we talk only about one direction, the direction where it expands into life, mind and energy.
咁我哋咧去講解咧，就係俾你自己去了解係其中一個方向啫，就係呢個嘅零點啦開始咧，佢點樣去咧往正無限嗰邊去發展咧，係去得多啲生命啊、神識啊、能量咧嗰邊咧去加強去演進嘅。
So we talk about only this one side, the side of the life, and we can say it expands into larger and larger spheres of the consciousness.
呢個就係生命嘅演化嘅過程，或者係叫做擴展嘅過程啦，係越來越有生命力嘅同埋能量。
And when we look at the different spheres of the consciousness on our planet, we can see this.
如果我哋睇到咧，我哋地球上邊咧，喺嗰個全意識咧有唔同嘅領域或者係唔同嘅層次、唔同嘅維度咧，我哋睇到咧係咁樣樣。
The basic sphere of the consciousness is the world of the existence.
最基本嘅個核心嘅球體啦，或者係最基本嘅層次咧，我哋叫做存在嘅領域。
So you see from the point zero, it will expand and it will create a sphere of the minerals.
喺咧零點開始咧，佢會咧俾自己咧係去演進啦，或者係咧擴展啦，去到咧嗰個球體咧叫做咧存在咧，就係我哋嘅礦物質。
So chemical elements,
化學物啦
the molecules,
粒子啊，
which is of course also water, the
水啊
gases in air,
水啊，
sand, because we have a lot of sand
佢話
and
沙
rocks.
啊，嘅所謂我哋啲所謂死物啦嚇，死物啦都係喺呢一處經存在嘅啫。
They are already living beings and they are in the sphere of the existence.
咁其實咧，佢唔係死物嚟㗎，佢係都係一個生物咧存有嚟㗎。咁但係咧，佢哋淨係喺一個嘅存在嘅領域咧，喺度就遊走。
They have no intuition, no intellect, instinct. They do not grow.
佢冇咧嗰個評論咧係關於咧直覺啊、智能啊、本能啊，佢亦都唔識得去生長，佢冇咁樣嘅能量。
But when we expand this life form and make it a larger sphere of the consciousness, then we come to the growth.
當你去演進咧呢個生命嘅能量嗰陣時候咧，去到下一個層次咧，就係咧生長嘅層次。
And on our planet, we see there are many things which will change size, which means they grow. Most of them are known as plants.
咁樣我哋喺地球咧睇到咧嗰啲嘅存有，佢係咧識得去生長啦，佢係越嚟越大嘅。咁呢一樣咧就叫做咧譬如話植物啦，就係咧屬於一個嘅領域裏邊嘅嘢。
So the plants do exist and they grow, but they have no intuition, they do not think, and they do not have emotions.
植物咧本身咧就識得係成長啦，識得去生長，咁但係佢冇情緒咧，亦都係冇咧一個智能去諗嘢啦，都係唔識得咩叫直覺。
And then the animals, they represent the even larger sphere of the consciousness, known as instinct.
動物咧，佢咧就代表咧就係咧在外圍咧嗰個嘅維度，咁啊關於咧係本能嘅維度。
So they exist, they grow, they have feelings, emotions, and they can move.
動物咧不單止咧係存在啦，同埋咧佢生長，甚至乎咧佢可以俾自己咧係遊走同喐動咧，因為佢有一個本能嘅程式喺裏頭。
And people represent the even larger sphere of the consciousness known as the intellect.
人類咧更加咧之進化啦去到咧就係咧智能嘅領域裏頭。
So people can think.
人咧係可以咧去思考。
And of course they have emotions, feelings, they move, they grow, and they exist.
當然咧，佢都有情感咧，有情緒啦，佢識得係喐動啦，同埋佢識得去成長同埋存在。
When people expand the sphere of the consciousness that they live in, then they can move to the next sphere, intuition.
如果咧人類啊去超越呢一個嘅領域俾自己咧係穿越佢咧，走到去直覺嗰個領域咧，俾自己係提升嗰個嘅維度嘅話咧，我哋可以咧踏入去直覺嘅。
So when you move your focus into intuition, the state in which you find yourself is known as enlightenment.
咁如果俾自己去提升穿越呢個咧智能嘅領域咧，帶入去直覺咧，我哋講緊我哋個狀態咧叫做咧叫開悟或者係叫做覺悟啦嚇。
And of course, there is infinite number of different spheres of consciousness, so you can imagine how much it can expand, and there is no limit.
睇下我哋嗰個球體一路咁樣發展落去咧，其實咧係好多個層次喺出邊嘅，係同無限嘅層次一路咁樣去演化落去。
I am is like a drop of water in the limitless ocean.
本我就好似一滴水喺一個無邊無際嘅大海洋裏頭。
But this I am is not a water, it's immaterial, just imagined piece of the consciousness.
咁但係 not water。
I am is not water, the water is for the ocean, but I am is not material thing. It's just comparison to the ocean and water is. Because some people think that I am is drop of water.
OK， 佢話咧本我咧其實咧都係唔係一個物質嘅層面，亦都唔係話一滴水真係佢唔係水嚟嘅，佢淨係一個想像嘅出嚟一個碎片。
So what you are the consciousness.
即係你自己本身咧係嗰個嘅全意識。
But you are not you don't want to be all the expanded, limitless consciousness.
咁但係咧，你係作為一個全意識嘅話咧，我唔想咧係咧所有一切咧都係我。
Because it's boring, there is nothing there.
因為如果我係嗰個嘅源頭嘅話咧，我哋嗰個本體嘅話咧就好悶啦，乜嘢都冇。
You want to play a game to be a primitive thing.
因為我需要咧俾自己咧比較原始啲，我能夠去體驗咧，咁先至夠好玩。
So as a consciousness, you imagine that you are infinitely small and very limited.
你自己咧用嗰個本意識咧，自己咧去想像自己咧係有限嘅，又好似一個範圍之內嘅一滴水咁樣樣。
And this infinitely small, limited piece of the consciousness, it's kind of individual being.
因為呢個想像嘅碎片啦，所謂啦，咁咧就係因為係咁粉碎啦、咁細小嘅話咧，好似咧一個個體啦係獨立咗出嚟一樣。
Which I call I am.
咁呢個咁嘅碎片啦，我哋咧就叫做咧係本我。
And since you are the consciousness, you know everything, you can do everything, so you cannot create life.
咁當然啦，作為全意識嘅話咧，你係有所有嘅能力，你係可以去創造生命、創造一切咧你要嘅嘢。
Or rather, you don't want to create life.
或者咧，你唔創造都得，因為你具有嗰個咁嘅能力。
You make a tool which will do all the work for you.
咁咧就本我自己創造一個工具，呢個工具咧就有做所有嘅工作。
It's mind.
呢個就叫做咧神識。
And mind consists of 3 parts.
咁啊神識咧係有3個部分嘅。
The intuition which has all the knowledge.
直覺咧擁有所有嘅智慧同埋知識。
Of course, it has all the knowledge because it directly touches the I am, the consciousness.
係啦，咁佢咧點解會咩都知咧？因為佢係最接近咧嗰個本我嘅。
And then the intellect, which does not know anything, it only can think and think and think.
智能咧，其實咧佢係唔知道任何嘢，佢淨係一個嘅思考嘅工具啦，不斷咁樣用嘅思維啦、分析啦發生。
And of course, the third part, the instinct, which is done automatically. So we call it programs and data.
最後咧，嗰個本能咧就係一個咧係自動波嘅一個嘅機器啦，佢係咧有所有嘅數據啊，同埋咧嘅程式啦去跑嘅。
We don't have to think about the heart rate, the blood pressure, and also about our breathing, because they are all done automatically.
即係譬如話我哋嘅心跳啊，我哋嘅呼吸啊，我哋所有呢啲咧係自動咧係去運作咧，我哋唔需要去刻意咧佢先至係喐嘅。
And the instinct has also harmful programs.
但係咧嗰個本能裏邊咧，呢啲嘅程式咧有啲咧都係有害嘅程式。
We call them diseases and beliefs.
呢啲嘅口害程式咧，我哋嘅叫做咧信念啦同埋咧係疾病。
So this is what you are, the consciousness.
你係咩咧？你就係嗰個全意識。
And this is what I suggest you do every morning when you
我
wake
建
up.
議你時時刻刻啦，尤其是朝頭早起身咧，就係咧去做呢一樣嘢。
Tell yourself some truth.
俾自己提醒翻自己咧，呢個真理。
So when you say I, you may always distinguish whether you think about I am or you think about the mind and body.
咁咧，每一次你講話我係講緊邊一個我咧？係講緊嗰個小我啊，定一個大我啊？係邊一個我？你要注意自己嗰個我係表達乜嘢嘢
You see, when you read so-called holy books,
？Holy books，
holy books, different books of different religions,
即係嗰啲經文啊，
Bible,
或者經典啊，
Gita,
係啦，心經啊、道吉經啊、
hundreds of
聖經啊，好多唔同嘅經文。
there are hundreds of books which are considered to be holy books.
好多本呢啲記載嘅書咧，我哋叫做嘅經書係咪叫經文？
You find all this information in those books.
呢啲咧古老嘅經文咧，呢啲嘅資料咧都唔係新㗎啦佢哋咧已經喺嗰度有講過。
And many times when they say I in this book,
喺呢啲經文裏邊咧，當佢哋用我呢個字咧，
they do not mean the body and mind, they mean I am.
佢哋講緊我啊呢個字咧，佢唔係話嗰個叫做小我，我哋成日執着嗰個叫我執嗰個我，佢講緊咧係嗰個嘅本源，係嗰個嘅本我，嗰個嘅源頭嘅我。
Sometimes they make even a bigger confuse. Instead of saying I am, they will say God.
仲麻煩咧，就係話咧，佢哋咧用另一個字咧去取代咧嗰個叫做本我咧，去用神咧去講佢。其實咧嗰個我咧係一個大我嚟嘅。
And instead of saying harmful program of the instinct, they will say Satan or they will say devil.
咁佢哋用呢一啲咁嘅魔鬼啊，或者係咧撒旦啊去嗰啲字眼咧去取代咧一啲咧有害嘅程式。
It's all the way how people play the game.
咁咧就呢啲咧即係咁濃郁嘅字眼咧，就搞到你嗰個遊戲咧越嚟越好玩啦。
So you know, intuition only knows; it does not think, it does not act.
直覺咧就係淨係知道嘅啫，佢咧就唔會思考，亦都唔會行動。
And the intellect never knows and it never acts; it only thinks.
智能咧係咧從來都唔知道，佢淨係會思考，亦都唔識得行動。
And the intuition never knows and it never thinks; it is just automatic action.
instinct。
Instinct,
係
yes.
啦，本能咧就淨係咧係行動嘅啫，佢亦都唔知道，亦都唔識得去思考。
So in the best, most successful position, you want to use all three parts of your mind to
喺你人生
create a product which is perfect.
喺你人生嘅話咧，真係想心想事情啦，必須要咧具備咧係3個部分，缺一不可。
And what is man?
人係乜嘢？
Just the physical body and a spirit.
我講緊人人咧喺個物質世界裏邊咧，淨係一個軀殼，我哋嘅身體加上咧我哋所謂嘅叫做靈魂啦、靈體。
The physical body, we know it. The spirit, the invisible body, we usually don't see it and don't sense it.
我哋嘅身體咧，我哋好明顯，我哋知道，我哋感覺到，但係所謂嘅我哋嘅連帶嗰個靈體嘅話咧，係無形嘅，可能我哋咧就未感覺到佢嘅存在。
This invisible body, the spirit will expand from the physical body like 90 centimeters up to 60 meters.
我哋個靈體咧，其實咧佢嗰個範圍啊，可能係我哋超越我哋身體咧，就係咧90個 cm 啦，去到咧90 to 160。
90 centimeters to 60 meters.
60 米就60米啊！嗰範圍咧係可以，個靈體嘅範圍咧係可以60米咧咁遠嘅部分。
In average, it is like 1.5 meters.
1.5米咧就係嗰個平均咧嗰個靈體嘅範圍啦。
So if it is like here, we can say we all are touched. We are touching each other.
咁其實你睇下我哋坐得咁密嘅話咧，我哋靈體同靈體之間咧已經重疊咗啦。
Some people, when they exercise the allowing inner joy, they will expand it and then the others will feel it.
甚至乎有啲人咧，佢成日咧去鍛鍊呢個禪悅嘅狀態嘅話咧，佢嗰個嘅氣場咧係會咧係範圍仲更加之誇大。
So the consciousness creates I am creates mind creates spirits, which has another physical dense part which is called body.
咁啊全意識咧係創造啦，係延伸出去咧就創造啦係本我，跟住去到神識啦，跟住我哋嘅靈體，跟住咧就係我哋嘅密度最高嘅就係我哋嘅身體啦。
When you look the structure of man, this is what you see.
如果睇到咧人嘅架構我哋可以用咁樣圖畫去表達。
The consciousness creates I am creates the mind creates the matter including the body.
物質咧，包括我哋嘅身體。
So if you know this basic knowledge, you also know that your body is just an image in your mind.
如果根據咧所有呢啲嘅基本嘅知識嘅話，你都係咧好清楚知道咧，身體咧其實咧係一幅嘅影像啦，喺我哋嘅神識裏頭。
So if you want, you can change the image in your mind, how it works, how it functions.
如果你想要改變嘅話咧，好簡單喺神識裏邊咧，呢幅圖畫咧，你就可以咧因你嘅意向去改佢。
One of the things that you can do is you can make your body to live without physical food.
咁當然啦，你又可以咧好簡單咧，將你嘅身體咧係成為一個全壁谷者，咁你就唔需要咧依賴咧外來嘅食物啦。
And you can also say that you eat light or you eat chi or you just live on air.
咁你都可以咧講緊你係以氣為生或者係以光為生都得嘅。
All depends on your imagination power.
所有咧都係咧你嗰個想像力咧係有豐富幾有力量嘅啫。
What is life?
生命係乜嘢？
It's an endless, always moving something in a cycle.
呢個係永無止息嘅一個嘅循環嘅。
And life exists between birth and death.
生命咧係咩存在咧？就係咧生死之間嘅平衡。
To create life, you must give something.
創造生命嘅我哋啦係會不斷咁樣去殺生。
And if you keep balance between killing and giving birth, then life never ends.
咁如果你能夠咧將呢個平衡咧係做好嘅話咧，就會有永生啦，係唔會結束嘅。
This is universal principle of change.
呢個咧係宇宙咧改變嘅定律。
Even planets and suns and entire universes undergo this principle.
整個宇宙所有嘅星球咧唔係我哋嘅星球咧，所有嘅宇宙咧都係咧按照咧咁樣嘅定律咧去行走。
This also happens at the very, very basic level, subatomic particles.
甚至乎咧，呢一個定律咧都係應用於咧係嗰啲最細嘅粒子裏頭啦，原子裏頭。
There is an atom of hydrogen and there is 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen.
呢個咧原子粒咁咧就係hydrogen 氫啦，同埋咧就係氧。
They must be destroyed.
咁樣氫同埋氧一定要咧係去被破壞啦。
So that the destroyed parts can join together and create a molecule of water.
當佢哋咧被破壞、被粉碎嗰陣時，佢就可以咧喺埋一齊咧，就成為咧一粒咧水嘅原子粒。
So it's on atomic level.
咁樣喺個原子粒咧上面去運作係咁。
And this is on planetary star level.
咁呢個咧就係咧比較咧係大啲嘅，咁就係咧喺個星球上面嘅運作個定律。
The sun is giving life.
太陽咧係不斷咧係去咧俾生命出嚟。
Or giving birth all the time.
咁咧就係無時無刻咧都係咧喺佢生產一啲能量出嚟。
But to have the material to give birth, it must eat something.
佢產生咧咁大嘅能量咧，佢一定要咧係吞沒咧一啲食物。
So as a second part, the invisible for us part, as a black hole, it sucks everything, kills everything around.
喺吞沒咧食物咧嗰一半咧嗰段咧，我哋係冇睇到嘅，咁咧就係去食嘢嗰一段。
One matter is transformed into other matter.
就係咧一樣嘢咧係去轉移咧另外一樣嘢。We can show the video.
After this. So this is the same thing, but just focus on eating.
呢一樣咧係一樣同一樣嘅東西，咁但係咧就用咧食咧係去咧講解。
Because eating and excreting are the same process of universal change.
我哋所謂咧就係咧食嘢就排出嘅所有東西咧，都係一個嘅宇宙嘅定律、變化嘅定律。
So you can see from the beginning where the consciousness creates life until the end, which we don't know in the infinity, we are in the chain of the same universal principle of change.
當全意識咧一開始咧去創造生命啦，去到一個咧無限嘅旅程裏邊咧，呢一段旅程裏邊咧，每一樣東西喺裏邊都係一個嘅生態鏈。
So in case of human, this is the mouth.
咁譬如話我哋人咧呢一個嘅吞沒咧嘅東西咧，呢個嘴亦個叫嘴巴。
The black hole of human is mouth, nose, and skin.
係啦，咁我哋咧譬如話黑洞咧吞沒咧東西嘅我個黑洞咧，人類嚟講咧就係咧嘴巴啦，我哋嘅皮膚咧都係咧叫黑洞。
And also our ability to draw energy.
同埋我哋嘅能量咧係可以去吸取咧外面嘅能量嘅，呢一個咧都係叫做咧黑洞。
Like yesterday, we went to the tree and we draw energy from the tree.
咁譬如話，琴日咧，我哋咧喺個大樹嗰度咧，我哋吸取咧大樹嘅能量，呢一個咧都係咧叫做黑洞啦，去吞沒咧外面嘅東西。
But we didn't kill the tree because the tree is much more powerful than people.
咁但係咧，我哋咧去吞少少嘅能量嘅話咧，唔會咧將棵樹咧殺死，因為咧佢哋嘅樹嘅能量係非常之強大嘅。
The tree was like this.
樹咧就大樹咧就好似咧呢個咁樣嘅狀態啦，係源源不絕嘅有嘅能量散發出嚟。
So and we were like this.
我哋咧淨係咧好似我哋咧其實咧就好似呢啲天使咁樣樣啦，去吸取佢嘅能量。
So the tree had and always have excess love energy.
咁咧樹咧因為咁強大咧，佢無時無刻咧都係咧有咧滿到瀉嘅嗰啲咧愛啊同嘅能量。
When we come, we just take the excess energy and the tree is even more happy.
咁其實咧，我哋咧同大樹一齊啦，我哋攞咗佢啦，射咗出嚟啦，多餘嘅一啲嘅愛嘅能量，咁咧其實大樹會好開心。
After a moment, I will show you a film which confirms that the universal principle of change applies in our universe.
咁陣間咧，我哋會放一個嘅短片啦，俾你睇到咧，就係嗰個宇宙咧變化嘅定律咧係點樣展示出嚟。
And this UPC means just that one material thing is changed in another material thing.
咁即係其實喺一個變化定律好簡單，就係一樣嘢佢會轉化咧另外一個樣，呢個咧係一定嘅。
And thanks to this, we have the movement, which means we have life.
因為咧咁樣嘅過程嘅話咧，我哋先會有生命啦，咁樣先至會有咧無常啦去發生咧產生生命。
And nothing stays the same, everything is changing.
冇嘢啦係永遠都係咁樣傳，即係唔不變嘅，係冇嘢係一成不變嘅。
So let me find this film now. Please translate.
咁咧就去揾緊呢一個嘅短片俾大家睇啦，關於嗰個宇宙吞沒。
This film is purely scientific production.
呢一個咧係科學上邊製作出嚟嘅，科技製作嘅。
It is made by NASA.
係太空美國嘅太空館啦，係製作呢一個短片。
And this film shows how the black hole eats entire star.
呢個短片裏邊咧，你睇到咧就係咧太陽嗰個黑洞咧點樣去吞沒咧旁邊嘅星球。
So there is a black hole here.
你睇到喺個銀河系嗰個星球，喺呢度有一個咧叫黑洞。
Black hole here.
黑洞。
And star coming, and the black hole eats, sucks in the star.
一個星球。
Kills the star. And
被嗰個黑洞
this
吞沒
is the
咗之後，
excretation.
吞沒咗之後咧就變化
New
轉
life
化咧
in
成為
form
咧
of this
產生啦能量啦光啦，同埋創造新嘅生命。
The blue streams are new life.
藍色嘅
When we look
光
at
咧就
this,
代表新嘅生命。
we see sun.
咁你睇到咧嗰啲光咧就其實睇到咧係太陽啦。
So you see this is from official site of NASA. You can go and download this film.
咁你去睇到呢個係美國太空館咧製作出嚟嘅，你都可以喺網上面下載。
You can go to this place and download this film.
呢個短片咧喺太空館裏邊咧去揾。
So let's see again how it is being done.
咁再睇一次點樣去吞沒呢個星球。
The black hole is here.
黑洞喺度啦。
Yes, it's also moving. And the star is coming from over there.
星球咧係喺接近遠方咧，俾佢咧
The
係
black
吞
hole
沒，
is stronger, so it sucks in,
因為咧嗰個吞沒嘅能量好強
destroy
啦，
entire life.
成個星球咧係
And the excretion
被咧
is
破
new
壞
life. And when we
產生
look
啦
here, we see our sun.
產生新嘅生命同埋光咧，佢睇到咧
We look in this way, we see our sun.
喺依邊咧去睇咧，就睇到我哋嘅
Or
太
maybe
陽，所謂
here, another sun.
就睇到太陽。
So universal principle of change.
呢個咧就係宇宙咧變化嘅定律。
From subatomic level up to entire universes.
從最細嘅粒子咧，呢個都係可以應用啦。去到最大嘅分子咧，都係可以一樣嘅定律嘅啫，變化嘅定律。
Does black hole move? I mean, like move like this, or just hold like here and?
Black hole is also moving. Everything is moving. Everything is
冇
moving.
嘢係一成不變啊，都係喐緊嘅喺度。
And now, for your amusement, I will show you some funny film.
係啦，咁咧就俾你娛樂一下啦。咁有一個短片都好得意嘅，好搞笑。
One of my experiments.
呢個咧就係我啦。
From 100, from 101 kilograms
101公斤。
to 74 kilograms. So this is 101,
101公斤啦，去到74公斤。
and this is 74.
呢個101去到74公斤。
Yes. Quite fast. Yes. Actually, it took me 3 weeks to change this.
3個禮拜。
Now you see it in 5 seconds, but it took me 3 weeks from
3
101 to 74.
係啦，3個禮拜咧嗱唔食嘢。
That was 13 years ago.
13年前啊。
So it's a good document.
記起好好嘅記錄啊！
And this boy, I am going to show you a 129 years old boy,
有一個小朋友啊，129歲嘅小朋友。
a Taoist master.
呢個係咧道家嘅大師，道家嘅師傅啊嚇，道家嘅師傅。
So why does he live 129 years?
點解佢咧129歲咧都咁有力量嘅咧，咁有體力嘅咧？
Because he is moving.
因為咧佢成日都喐㗎，俾自己，
He is exercising every day.
每日咧都俾自己去運動。
And he is an herbalist and stay in nature since he was 10. He always stay in nature, collect herbs and heal people.
係啦，佢咧就係一個草藥師啦。咁樣佢喺個大自然咧生活咧，成日都揾到啲好正嘅草藥啦，係幫助人咧係治療嘅。
So you can see 129 years and he can move better than we.
係咪129歲比我哋更加之靈活啦？係咪？
Actually, he can do this for 3 hours without stopping.
佢咧3個鐘頭做足做3個鐘頭都唔會停唔會攰嘅。
So always when I meet him, we eat a lot and we drink a lot of alcohol, but he is stronger than me.
咁咧就我同佢咧相遇咧時候咧，佢中意飲酒，成日陪佢飲酒，咁但係咧每次都
I cannot drink anymore, but he still wants me to drink.
每次都飲贏我飲唔落啦，已經佢都飲贏我。
So you see, it's not the food, it's his activity, physical
唔
activity.
係同食物冇關係啊，而係因為咧佢成日俾自己咧去打太極啦、喐動啦，咁先有咁嘅成果。
And I said he's just a young boy.
咁我同佢話呢個真係小朋友嚟嘅。
Why?
點解咧？
Because his master died at the age 256.
佢嗰個大師傅，佢自己個大師傅咧256歲先至死嘅，咁佢而家相對係咪小朋友啊？
So he is just a boy.
咁啊相對啦嚇，咁就係小朋友嚟嘅啫嘛。
His master was double of this age.
佢自己個師傅啊，比佢嘅年紀咧相配啊好多。
Actually, you can officially find it on the internet about his master because he is officially recognized by the Chinese government because the Chinese government sent him congratulations twice when he was 50 and when he was 200.
哦。其實咧，呢啲咧嘅好容易喺網絡上邊揾到啊，因為咧我哋嘅中國政府啦嚇，頒獎俾佢嘅師傅啊，話佢師傅150歲嗰陣時候頒一個獎啦，跟住佢200歲嗰陣時又頒一個獎，呢啲咧可以都喺網上邊咧係揾到嘅，公開嘅。
So do exercise, move
所以麻
yourself,
煩你哋啦，拜託你哋咧做多啲運動啦。
and live in nature.
嚇，咁咧同埋俾自己咧真係揾翻個大自然咧去生活啦。
You have one of the official examples.
嚇，能夠咧就可以離開個城市啦，呢一個咧係一個官方公開嘅一個嘅好好嘅例子。
But in China, there are thousands of people who are over 100, and they still work on the field every day.
喺中國大陸啊嚇，好多咧嘅人咧其實都已經超過100歲，但係每日咧都喺個田咧裏邊咧去耕種啊，係體力非常之。